Spooky, scary TikToks that are predicted to happen 2023. What's good, dog? How your day going? Your morning, your evening, night, whenever you're watching this video. I'm not about to talk your ears off, about to jump right into this video. Yo, you want to check out the original video? Link will be in the description below, but let's go.
Creepy last words people said right before dying. A nice old lady told a CNA that she wanted to wear all white. When asked why, she said the man in black is here. She looked in the corner of the room. The CNA looked, but there was no one there. That's when the nurse came into the room. They asked her to describe what she was seeing, and she said he's in all black, and he's got a top hat on. And then she whispered, and his eyes are red, while her eyes moved across the room to directly behind the CNA, like she was watching him move closer to them. She died later that night, but it was unexpected. That room creeped the nurse and the CNA out for a long time after that.
Okay, so I'm just gonna come right out and say it.
Not being funny, dog.
After that.
Okay, so I'm just gonna come right out and say it. The creepiest thing ever, probably in the history of what has happened so far in my haunted house, officially happened last night. Officially, 100%. So far, nothing can top this one. So, my fiance and I were laying in bed, going to sleep. Great British Baking Show is obviously playing in the background. Nothing else can relax me more. And he's like, stop taking the covers. Stop pulling the covers off me. Mind you, I'm pretty much asleep. I am not moving. I am a log at this point. So I scooch my boot.
Oh, go back. She in the kitchen. I know damn well she ain't pissing, dog. Okay, never mind. Cause I know you hear the little water droplets. I think it's just like a water running, dog.
In the covers. Stop pulling the covers off me.
You pissing
Mind you, I'm pretty much asleep. I am not moving. I am a log at this point. So I scooch my boot all the way to the other side of the bed, so where we are not touching. There is no way he can tell me that I'm pulling the covers off of him. So he turns the TV off. We are now falling asleep in silence, and out of nowhere, literally nowhere, at the same exact time, we both hear, Mom, excuse me, I am not a mother. We both heard it, and it was coming from the bottom, like where your feet are, like that part of the bed. So I'm literally at a loss for words. The only thing I do know is that around the 1920s, 1930s, there was a fire in this home, in my house, that a family was in, and I've read that they did not make it out. So, like, I don't get it.
This video just came out and people are...
If you ain't got no video proof, I don't believe it. That would be creepy, though.
I don't get it.
This video just came out and people are freaking out about it. A woman moved into her new house a few months back and decided to install high-resolution baby monitors above her baby's crib. One evening, while her and her husband were out with their baby, she received a notification on her phone. She saw that it was the baby monitor app notifying her that a face had been detected. Thinking somebody was in her home, she frantically pulls up the notification to see this.
So I look at my phone and this is what I see.
I want to fast forward this
So
one.
I look at my phone and this is what I see. What is that?
Plain as day, a face being picked up in real time in her baby's crib. She notes in her TikTok video that there are no dolls in her crib and the face in the video looks nothing like her baby. The creepiest part about this one is that this was the only video on her app that did not allow her to play it back. You can't tell me that this doesn't creep you the hell out.
A face, right? Like, that looks like hair, but this is clearly a face, and it's not my baby.
Was this an alien caught on camera? A man is driving down the road when a humanoid creature darts in front of his vehicle. The creature has a grayish colored body and a large head, resembling descriptions of gray aliens.
About 5 years ago, my husband and I went to visit his grandma. Big, beautiful 2-story house. I was going to head upstairs to put some pajamas on and saw a woman walk across the top of the stairs. It was only my husband, young daughter, and his grandma in the house, and whoever I saw wasn't Granny. I went in the living room and told them what I saw, and his grandma goes, "Yeah, that's Lori. She visits a lot." Lori was my husband's mom who died when he was 11. I was so freaking spooked. After that, I barely slept the rest of the time.
All the way home. Don't tell me nothing like that, dog.
I bought my first house in
I thought it would be
2000.
grandma walking around with them, them titties out. I said, who unsee, dog? Dog, I used to, so back, man, I ain't about to tell you nothing, dog. Let's watch this video.
11. I was so freaking spooked.
I'm chilling
After
today,
that,
dog.
I barely slept the rest of the time you were there.
I bought my first house in 2003, and was over the moon. Shortly after moving in, 2 of my neighbors began joking with me about the ghost in my house. Well, I thought they were joking, so I just played along pretending I had seen one and it was no big deal. Well, as time went on that summer, I met more and more of my neighbors and they all brought up the same topic. Finally, an elderly woman on the block who was quite kind and friendly told me story after I'd asked her. I knew she wasn't going to screw with my head, which is why I asked in the first place. Turned out the previous owner purchased the home and never lived there because she said it was haunted. Sounds in the night of footsteps and sobbing, and glimpses of a man sitting in the kitchen covered in blood. One of my neighbors helped with the renovations of the house and said that he was putting up dry wall when he felt something lift up his dreadlocks. Though I've had paranormal experiences before, it had been years, and by then I just chalked it up to night terrors. One day I went to a small neighborhood video store to rent a movie. I had to fill out a form with my demographic data, and then my credit card info.
Bro, just show the damn video, boy.
The owner of the store looked at the form and said, "Oh my God, you live in that house." I asked her what she meant and she explained that her former employee had committed suicide in my house. She came to the house as soon as she'd heard, but the house had been taped off my police as a potential crime scene. She told me that he had just moved into the house with his partner and called his mom because he wanted to invite her over to meet his partner and come out to her. This was in the early 90s when being gay was a big deal. His mother already knew he was gay, because he bought a house with a man and disowned him right over the phone. That same week he received a letter from an HIV testing center stating he had tested positive for HIV.
But his story going left so hard.
HIV was a death sentence.
Ooh, shit. So even diseases talk about, man, back in the 90s, man, what the fuck, they too weak now. Well, everybody thought everything being doper than 90s. I ain't gonna lie, it was, though, but see, this was back in the 90s with HIV. That motherfucker said when Miles knew he was gay, but he still... I said, boy, what a fucking ghost!
He received a man and disowned him right over the phone. That same week he received a letter from an HIV testing center stating he had tested positive for HIV. This is when HIV was a death sentence. He then sat at the kitchen table, ate a bowl of cereal, and shot himself in the head with a revolver.
Damn.
Since then, she has had multiple paranormal experiences in the store, with videos flying off shelves and even levitating off shelves. The most I have experienced is sounds at night, sounds of Cheerios being poured into a bowl, one don't eat cereal, and sounds of sobbing in the kitchen. I often awaken to both. I remember my grandmother saying, when the dead come to you, they want something, perform an act of charity in their name and pray for them. So I did. I sat down at the kitchen table one night and lit a candle and told him that each night I would recite a novena prayer for him before a lit candle. On the 9th night of the first novena to Saint Anthony, patron saint of lost souls, I heard uncontrollable sobbing. I felt a strong presence of grief and despair, and the sound of hyperventilating breathing, as though someone could not catch their breath. I sat in the presence of this knowing it was not malignant, but rather a connection of intimacy and compassion of which he was in need. For 45 days I said a novena prayer before a lit candle for his soul, and had a mass said in his name. A few times I had awakened to feel his presence standing over my bed, but knew it was not a malignant presence. This still happens from time to time, but less and less frequently.
Braylon? Braylon? What's happening with your car?
Is this a skinwalker?
I don't think people appreciate ghosts, dog. I would get in that shit. Yes, I would. I'd be scared at first when I see a ghost. I'm gonna trip out. Oh shit, I'm gonna trip out. I'm human. But then I'm like, nigga, this is a real ghost. Hey, where you from, dog?
Braylon?
They
What's
might be
happening with your
cool
car?
as shit, man. And they invisible.
Is this a skinwalker on his roof?
That's a nigga looking for his baby mama.
My husband and I live in a 100-year-old house. It's always been a little creepy, like hearing people talking in another room and going in and there's no one there. But, a couple of years ago we had 2 really good hauntings that totally convinced me the paranormal is real. The first thing that happened was when I was sleeping on the living room floor in front of the TV because I hurt my back, and was trying to get it to a comfortable position. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I heard the mantle clock chime 4. I'm sure I was awake because I watched TV for a few minutes. I heard my husband walk into the room behind me, pick up the comforter and spoon behind me with his arm thrown over my waist. After a couple of minutes it was like his arm weighed a ton and he was throwing a lot of heat. Just about then I heard my husband start snoring, in the bedroom. I was like, oh shit, freaking terrified. So I counted to 3 and took the cover off and ran.
I think some snot flew up my nose. Hold up, my bad, though. I think some snot flew up my nose with that one. Boy, that would have tripped me out, boy.
Oh shit, freaking terrified. So I counted to 3 and threw the cover off and ran. Woke him up and we looked, there was no one else in the house. I know there was something there though. The second time we were both asleep in the bedroom at about 4 a.m. again. My husband says he woke up to hear 2 little girls talking. He could hear that they were playing jacks. He could hear the ball bouncing and the metal sound of the jacks on the wood floors. One of the little girls says to the other one, "Watch this," and she goes, "Mama, mama," and I sat straight up still asleep and said, "What baby? Once a mom, always a mom, right?" The little girls laughed because it worked. So he kind of shook me awake and I looked at him then at the doorway where the little girls were. They looked real except their outlines were wavering and they were almost black and white in coloring. They saw us both looking and laughed. Then the older girl grabbed the littler one's hand and they walked right through the bedroom wall and disappeared.
With its old Tudor style.
Fucking cow. Peep, y'all ever see those videos? Or see those, no, not videos, those posts. You mostly see them on Facebook, dog. If you still use Facebook, it's hella funny. But either way it go, though, it'd be like a picture of like a child, whatever, you know what I'm saying? A child would be like, look like he probably like 4, maybe like 3. And she'd be like, y'all, it'd be like a caption on it, right? Like, y'all, my son just told me when I put up to the gas station, like, you ain't got to get out and pump the gas, mama, I'm going to do it. Because you need a real man in your life, blah, 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 and ain't no woman like, blah. Basically, it'd be a long sentence about how he really appreciate her, how an actual man should appreciate her, so he going to do the job for her. I'm like, and everybody now be figuring this shit out, be calling it out. I mean, like, yo, damn kid ain't say that at no 3 or no 4. Basically, what I'm saying is, you sit here and saw all that shit from the paranormal, huh? Yeah, right, get the fuck out of here. That's a lot. You saw a whole conversation. I want to see that. Bullshit. Get back. Oh, I pressed too many buttons, dog.
Older girl grabbed the littler one's hand and they walked right through the
That's how the
bedroom
show
wall
talks, I'm
and
like, yo,
disappeared.
what it look like on the other side? They got some weed over there.
With its old Tudor-style frame, the Holt Arms pub has stood at the foot of
Stop, all right, go back.
one's hand and they walked right through the bedroom wall and disappeared.
With its old Tudor-style frame, the Holt Arms pub has stood at the foot of Billinge Hill in Wigan since 1721. Inside you'll find low ceilings, cosy lighting and a few ghosts. The cold stone cellars were used as an overflow mortuary in days gone by, storing the recently deceased. One tale from this era relays how a barmaid heard sobbing from the cellars, so crept down to investigate. She seen a man crouched on the stairs crying that he was dead. She told him to get his head together and come up for a pint. Making her way up, she turned round, but he was gone. She went back down calling him, and when reaching the far corner, seen his long dead body resting on the stone.
I know I'm gonna have to mute this music. It's a pretty dope song. Doggy eyes is wide open. There must be some good ass chips. But look, though, I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. Enjoy my day. Hey, you do the same thing. Enjoy your day, your morning, your evening, night. Whenever watching this video, dog. But I'm out.